It's Thursday. We just got to Bay St. Louis after a 6-hour drive, so I know I look rough. But I'm super excited because this is my favorite week of the year. Paul is going on a fishing trip for 3 days, and I get to stay here and paint for 3 solid days. And it's just me and the puppies. So I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Friday. Paul is off to his fishing adventures. He just sent me a text, and his view, I must admit, is pretty amazing. I went to the antique shop yesterday. This cute little teacup. I mean, it looks a little small to be anything but decorative, but I thought it was cute. And this morning while I was drinking my coffee, I rented a Mary Fedden documentary, and I will put a little clip on so you can check it out if you want to rent it for yourself. I think it was $38, $35, something like that. Well worth it. It was amazing. I actually took some notes because I wanted to tell you a couple of things that I found interesting that she did that we might incorporate in our practice. One, she has all these palettes too. She doesn't wash hers. See, I've washed all mine. I think I'm gonna start like not washing them because she keeps out all these dirty palettes and just uses the muddy colors to dirty up her other colors. I thought that was kind of interesting. She only paints inside in her studio. She doesn't paint outside like plein air, but she does use her sketchbook. Her sketchbook practice ranged back 30 years ago, and she still paints from the sketchbooks. The painting that she was painting in the documentary, she was actually using watercolor and gouache, and she was painting from an older oil painting that she had. She used collage material too. Her husband was an artist, and his prints that he had that didn't print well, she would cut up and use. So sometimes if she, in her paper pieces, not her oil pieces, if she had like a mug or something, I don't have her book with me or I'd show you, but her mug sometimes and have the little crosses, that might be from her husband's old discarded one-off prints that didn't work, and she's collaged those in there and incorporated them as something else, like a boat. In the piece that she was working on, it originally was a bridge in one of his old paintings, and that was interesting. One other thing I wrote down that I really liked, because I struggle with this. She says the reason she doesn't paint outside is because it's easier to paint inside to tell a lie. Meaning that there's so much information, and when she sits outside, she is more prone to try to paint it as she sees it. And then if she paints in her sketchbook, it's a little distorted from that. Then she brings it home, and then she can distort it a little bit more, and the memory's still there, but she can manipulate the piece. So that was interesting. I've set up, well, not completely. I've got bananas and I've got some flowers and a fish. Oh, I shook you. I'm sorry. I shook you again. I'm going to set up a still life, and I think today I'm going to work on still life, but I'm going to open the door and maybe incorporate outside too. So this is where I think I'm going to set up. And I'm just going to put just different things there. But let me show you what happened. I opened these doors up. And do you see this? I swear to you, I thought this was a snake. I guess last night we had a little storm kind of blow through, and this was also here, and I guess it broke. So I wish I had been videotaping for that fiasco, because I do not like snakes. One thing, like this morning, I was kind of like not in the mood to paint. I don't know why. I think I was just tired from the trip. And, but to me, like watching a documentary on painting is like seeing a commercial on with a hamburger in it, and then you want a hamburger. Does that make sense? It just always works for me. And I've been wanting to watch this documentary for a long time. So I'm glad I did. So I think I'm just gonna sketch this out, and then I'm gonna try her method. She sketches things out, and then she paints from her sketchbook. So I think I'm just gonna try it and see how it works. Okay, I've just sketched it out real loose, and I'm gonna try to paint it just from this. I think I'm gonna sketch this out with watercolor pencil. So that's a real quick version of me painting off this in my sketchbook, and I think I'm going to paint this in my sketchbook now. So I just did this one in my sketchbook, and I think this is more successful because that I did the colors that were there, and this I used a little artistic license. And she has a painting that it's either a red table with a pink background or pink with red, but it almost, the table and the background kind of blend together. It's from the 60s. I'll see if I can find it, but I think that was definitely better and more fun. Of course, I'm doing these really quick. Good morning, it's Saturday. I'm gonna do landscape today and just look at colors and patterns and things like that. It is high tide. It is all in the yard. At one point, this is our camp house, it survived Katrina, and at one point the water had gone above that. So I'm gonna look at different patterns and colors and just be intuitive and see what happens today. It It is really high tide right now. It definitely looks like it's gonna rain. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just start early. Let's go inside. Look how much water now is coming up. Look at that water. Don't go down there. No, come back. It is slowly moving up underneath the house. Well, this 3-day weekend has taken a slight turn. I've set up in the house. I have my view there. It is so windy outside that all the paper, everything was blowing over. So this is a good view. I think I'm going to stick with this. I'm just blocking in colors. I've exaggerated this line here where the water is. The benefits of editing is you see your mistakes, and my mistake is I should have stopped right there. Instead, I continued, and I think I overworked it. I'm seeing if I can't get the feeling of high tide coming in. And the colors are definitely kind of gloomy this morning. And it's just rolling in different spots. I'm trying to depict that or get that feeling of a high tide. In some spots, it's over grass, and the grass is here, but it's also in this area. And this is the house in the background. I'm mixing acrylic with the gouache. And that is the same size, but I'm going to extend it. So let's make that a little darker over here. I just kind of want to do blocks of color, or I'm attempting to. There's stilts on. Let's name it Tide. I'm going to do this little fish jug, and then here's my palette. You know, Mary Fedden did the palette and saved it, but this is acrylic, so I'll wash this out. But she used watercolor in these palettes and didn't wash them out. That's what I was saying yesterday, that she didn't wash these because you can reconstitute the watercolor and gouache, but acrylic you cannot. So this is the plan. I turned my flowers around, and I'm going to concentrate on these big yellow sunflowers and see how that goes. And keeping in my little fish flower painting.
about got me. Look at where the water is now. What in the world? If you notice, our neighbors have parked their cars up on that little hill because underneath their house, it is definitely waterfront property over there. I mean, I have the same thing going on. Whew. This is insane. Let's go look at what the underneath of the house looks like. Oh my gosh. What is going on? This is insane. It's a good thing we don't have a car underneath here. Well, hopefully tomorrow all of this will be receded back. We'll see. It's insane. Day 3. He's not gone back. I have stacks of work that I'm going to show you that I've done this week, or my three-day retreat to myself. I did these flowers. I put these in a mason jar and tried to capture the light that was coming out this door, the way it was hitting it. I'm not sure that was that successful. This is my sketchbook. That was from outside. My power line kind of bled and out. Looks like a big bird up there. This was that still life I had done, and remember I had this color in the background, and this was, if you can see that texture, that was that oil pastel, and when you put acrylic on there, it kind of gives this peeling effect, but I do like that. This little plaid basket ended up, now it looks like a window, like maybe that's a curtain. So there's that. This was in my sketchbook, just a abstract from outside. I was kind of thinking of the Yvonne Hitchin work. And this was my fish flowers, and I had set it up on the outside table, and that was the deck, and I was trying to capture some of the shadows and just keep it loose and abstract. And then I decided to crop my fish, and I really liked this one. Originally I had used this tablecloth, but then everything was going down, so I just created my own pattern. I can see using this painting again on canvas. This was the one where I abstracted or kind of exaggerated the canal and some of the patterns in the canal. Same with this, I didn't go all the way up, but I still went that way and try to keep, I kept these little abstract colors with the little houses in the background and the post. And there's a little house back there. And lastly, this sketchbook, I try to keep with the blue theme and red theme like Mary Fedden does. And then this was on the bar, and there was a set of keys and the bottle opener that now looks like a sideways woman laying down. This was the mirror in the background on the bar, and that's me painting in the background, but it kind of looks like I'm doing a hula dance back there. But I can assure you that I am not. And this was the high tide one. Really, it's not high tide, it's this wind that's blowing in. And this was the continuous line drawing that I did this morning, hoping that the water would recede. So that is that. Finished my 3 days with 12 paintings. And next week, I'm still gonna be here in Bay St. Louis, so I'm gonna attempt to go to the beach or the bay and sketch there. So I will see you next week. Oh, and it's cruising the coast next week, so that should be fun. So see you there.